topic. Marcus, this is where you come in.
Yeah, I've been holding in a lot of anger this week. First, you saw that jabroni Nico released that ridiculous pyramid, and then I saw this Instagram post, a blog to watch, where Ariel Adams, someone who I really respect, he was talking about an interview with Undone, and he was talking about how they're fun watches, like they're stupid capsule watches or fun watches, and I was like, really, like use you can't use fun as a euphemism for releasing a shitter watch. So I decided to go ahead and make my own way to judge watches. So I've got this here. So this is my buying decision tree. So we've got on the y-axis, we've got like how horologically interesting something is, and that's a function of innovation, finishing, complications, and aesthetics. And then you've got on the bottom toxicity. So toxicity is a function of MSRP, how much of a discount you can get, and obviously depreciation. So I think when we're looking to buy watches, we've kind of got to look at which zone a specific watch is. So you've got zone. So we've basically got what I like to call the Sabbat Pluta line, where as the toxicity increases, the horological increases has to increase. And if you're above the Sabbat Pluta line, you're in zone A, and then you don't want to be in zone B. And then of course there's the Nomos Meridian, where regardless of how much more expensive the watch gets, it's still the same horological level of interest, even as the toxicity increases.
I think it goes down. I think it should slant downward a little bit as it goes to the right.
Maybe. And then obviously the area under the curve of the Nomos Meridian is micro brand land. So
yes,
that's what we got. So I thought that we'd use this chart and discuss watches that we're thinking about and figure out where they are. Are they in kind of in zone A, zone B, or in micro brand land, and where within each zone they are. So that's why this is how I'm going to be judging watches going forward.
And I just want to clarify, because if I understand this figure correctly, the Sabbat Pluta line is actually a function of that line. Doesn't mean that Sabbat is zone A or zone B.
No, yeah, it's a function of that line. That's the divider. That's the divider, right?
Because it's actually a function of that line.
Because probably Pluta is up in here, and then Sabbat's up in here. And so that's just where we're kind of going.
Very kind.
That's why we got the Sabbat Pluta line.
Much appreciated.
Wonderful chart. Let's go through the chat first before we maybe throw in and talk about some watches that we're considering and how it fits in to this beautiful chart that you made, Marcus. Wonderful chart here by Nefarian, Dr. Marcus, complete with charts. We don't fool around here on Wednesday Night Watch Chat.
That looks almost exactly like the graph I drew for my wife when we started dating, and she asked me if we were moving towards marriage. I drew a graph just like that.
It's a very popular graph formation for sure.
Yeah.
It was not a happy day in our relationship.
Marcus be in Tom Brady category here, the GOAT. Fasten seatbelts. Marcus sits upside down. I think Wilson was just pulling her leg here. Nomos Meridian. LOL. He is serious. I'm dying. LOL. Toxicity concluded. Well, we got to this, Nefarian. Yep. This is the greatest thing I've seen in a stream in a long time. This segment, awesome. That is a super clean regression, Marcus. Mountain Standard Time, a little disappointed. He was told there was be no math. Love the chart. This is remarkable. Genius. Sideways laughy face. Oh boy, yeah. So okay, so is Rolex on the marriage graph? Where is Rolex in the marriage graph?
Oh, in this graph, I think Rolex it's kind of, I would say in this triangle right here. Like you're where you want to be, but it's limited in terms of how horologically interesting. So it's definitely in the low toxicity range, but it's also they're kind of they've got a glass ceiling in terms of how horologically interesting they can be.
Oil Money bringing up Parmigiani. This is what the graph is made for.
Yeah, so we have to figure out where Parmigiani goes.
Like brands like Parmigiani, like Gerard Perregaux, this is what this is made for, and this will hopefully answer some of the tough questions that we ask ourselves about these brands and whether we should put down our hard-earned money for something that's going to be potentially extremely toxic, and we'll still do it anyway. But what say you guys?
And it's important. Marcus makes an important point that Rolex occupies a territory, a three-dimensional range, not two-dimensional. That you can't say Parmigiani is a dot on that figure, right? It's going to depend on which Parmigiani, and it's going to be a section of that figure. So we'll take the hard questions here, but they may have complicated answers.
Yeah. So let's start. I mean, can we further? I mean, are we done with Parmigiani, or should we actually just talk about this as an example, as an exercise here, using this chart? Do we have to go via through some models of the Parmigiani, like the Pershing? Like, where is the Pershing going to finish that?
The Pershing with it, the Pershing is clearly like kind of down here.
Yeah.
I would say. Like way down here. Like it's super toxic and it's not that horologically interesting.
Right.
Like the Pershing is literally the ugliest Parmigiani in the history of Parmigiani. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very brutal. Okay. All right. So that's yeah. Sorry, I'm going.
Where is where's the new Tonda chronograph? The Tonda PF chronograph.
I'm biased, so I'm gonna go here. Like kind of right in here.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm just gonna go, just to the left of the Pluto Sabot line, but it's close. It's a close call.
Before we answer other brands, okay. So then,
just let me clarify so that I understand it too. My Nomos is definitely where we are not supposed to go.
Yeah, it's a meridian. It's a meridian.
In zone B all the way at the end.
Well, no, like yours is not too bad. So yours might actually be. It's not that toxic, but it's not that interesting. But again, it's probably like
in zone B.
Yeah.
I would argue, if I could argue,
probably right at that angle, like kind of in here. So it's not too bad, right? Because you don't want to be way out over here.
I'm gonna make an argument. Can we go Marcus solo here for a minute?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, whenever need be, just let me know.
Okay. If money is not an object, then you'd rather be high in zone B than low in zone A. In other words, zone A is not necessarily superior to zone B, right? Because if you're in low in zone A, then you're doing okay for your money, but you got a low horological interest watch. Whereas if you're high in zone B, you're kind of you might be toxic, but you've got a banging watch.
I think Amin makes a very good point, and again, that's why we have the Pluto Sabot line.
Marcus, in your professional opinion, please keep the chart up. Where does Amin's UN calendar fit?
I would say it's kind of in here.
Okay.
But that has to be. I think I'm starting to get it, but that UN has to be in zone A, where we want to be. We said we need to be in zone A.
No, that's where I'm arguing, Wolfgang. Zone A is not necessarily better.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I don't think it's. I don't think its horological interest is, positively proportionate to its toxicity. So it's really interesting, but again, it's also very, very toxic.
Okay. I wish I was more prepared for this. I would have had a split screen here with the chart. Next time when we do this exercise, I foresee this as a reoccurring segment that we can. I'll split screen and add the chart. We'll scan it, Marcus. Your people will work with my people. But
we'll scan it.
Let's for argument's sake, let's do a couple more from the chat here. Let's get your professional expertise, your opinion. using your hard work here to come up with this fantastic graph. You spent a lot of time with this. Let's keep it going here. So, Risk Ross, where's Ketelars?
Where's Ketelars? That's a very good question. I don't think Ketelars is toxic at all. I honestly don't. So I've got them squarely up in kind of in this area here. So it's not that toxic. I think it's moderately horologically interesting, and I think it's north of kind of this Rolex Bermuda Triangle here.
Okay, keep it up there. A couple more. Sorry, Marcus. Nefarian. Okay, where is Laurent Ferrier?
Laurent Ferrier.
Right on the line, right on the Sabbath Pluto line, but right way upper right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of it. I think it's probably trending towards Zone B, but it's probably right on the line.
Yeah. Tudor Fast Rider.
Tudor Fast Rider. It's kind of in this area here. It's got a DD. It's got a DD module, a chronograph. It's kind of ceramic, but it's not. There's nothing horologically interesting about it. So I've kind of got it kind of in this area here.
We could probably throw the BB41 in there too, right? Around that same range.
Yeah.
How about a Dwiss Wandering Hours?
Oh, it's in the that's in microbrand land. That's just basically a microbrand credit, right?
Yeah, we definitely don't want to be in there. I got that one.
Okay, Marcus, you could bring it down. I think now that most of us know, have committed to memory where the graph is. If something's come up, we can do. Wilson, he's saying Nomos is in the back of the page.
No.
Good question. Yeah. Marcus, where does a watch need to be for you to buy the watch? Good question, Time Hell.
Marcus is being pulled in a direction on that graph. If you plot his past purchases and where his heart is taking him, he's showing some rightward migration, some rightward migration on that chart.
Yeah. I think I'm not sure. I'm all over the place right now.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get. I think I'm willing to be in Zone B if I can get it for the right price. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. If you get a Zone B watch at just a crazy good price, does that move it to Zone A, or is it still a Zone B watch, but you just got it for a crazy good price?
It has to move to A. It loses toxicity.
That's kind of how I try to buy my toxic watches, right? To find them at
I hadn't thought about that. Maybe
good prices.
Maybe this doesn't capture everything.
I think it's a good start.
It's a very good start. I think this chart assumes that you're getting the average buying price on a watch.
Yeah.
But if you get a Parmigiani Kalpa hebdomadaire for like $500, then it has to go to Zone A.
Yeah, that's definitely Zone A. Yeah, that's no longer toxic, because no matter how well you sell it, no matter how poorly you sell it, you're still going to make money.
Yeah.
Rich Russ, there's Nomos, and then there's Director's Cut Audubon. Chaz, how much for a laminated Marcus G watch toxicity chart?
I feel like I should scan this, and then Rob should somehow like improve like we
could do that,
the graphics.
Yeah,
and then it should just be a Yabi Yegs like merchandise.
Where's UN on your chart?
UN is clearly Zone B.
Zone B.
It's Zone
if
B?
you circle how much of Zone B UN covers?
Oh my goodness!
If you take in all of UN,
you could go. I'd argue it's almost the whole line. Like it just kind of it's kind of that, because I think even their modified Solitas, they are interesting, because again they do heavily modify the Solitas, but again they're still pretty toxic. But probably I would almost run them parallel along the Sabbath Pluto line.
The amount of area they cover is
very
extensive.
large, for sure. Yeah. because again they have they have Solitas, and then they have the Freak, they have the Cathedral Sonata. So,
Dude Hank, just logged in and have no idea what's going on, but feel like I should have brought a calculator or a drink. Yeah. This is a great conversation. The chart is so much more fun. Thank you, Marcus.
So what brand would take up most of the space on the whole thing? What brand can cover it all?
Paddock.
Yeah.
Paddock and probably AP, because AP has got some decidedly Zone B watches.
I think microbrand land needs a big revision. I think it should look. I wish I had. Okay, I'm gonna have to.
This can be a living document. I have no problems with that.
All right. So if I.
All right, I gotta zoom in here.
If this is my chart, right? I think microbrand has to be more like this, because something like that, because at the far left side they can't be in zone A, right? There's no reason why microbrands should
I cut them off. I cut them off.
Oh, you started them at the meridian?
Yeah, I started them at the meridian.
Or at the line. You started them at the Sabbath Pluto line. Okay.
Because almost nothing has zero toxicity, right? And again, nothing has zero horological interest.
I see.
Unless you're talking about an undone.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I gotcha. It just feels like you're almost putting them all in the same bucket, and they should have. But yeah, there's some room down in microbrand land for better or worse, right? So yeah, I take it back.
Stova?
Stova, that's a good question. I like Stova. I'm probably going to rate it higher than it probably deserves. I think it's kind of Stova might kind of be in this kind of group with that area there.
Slightly above the Pluto line.
Yeah. I think Stova is a fun buy. It retains value well. There's a really strong following, and it's not too much of an outlay for the money. The finishing's pretty good, and you've got a solid 6497. I love the 6497. So,
if my channel is new to you and you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and click that bell icon to get updates when I upload new videos. I love making these videos, and I hope you like them too. And also, if you want to support the channel, please buy me a cup of coffee. The link is in the description. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.